This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You've got to ask yourself whether reality is a dream or if you are dreaming reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration. You are the master of reality's creation.
Yes, you are the master of reality's creation. I am the master of reality's creation. My creation, your creation, the moment that we're in right now. What is up, folks? I don't know if anyone's even here because I didn't put up a thumbnail. I didn't announce that I was going to be live. I kind of wasn't sure if I was going to be live, but I felt the need to come live. I just had an amazing conversation with David Ferdinand, who was the guest I was supposed to have last week. And then scheduling, whatever, things happened. Tonight I was going to have him. Things happened. We had a long conversation before this, and it was amazing. I feel like I need to change the light in my room, so let me just do that. Hopefully that's a little bit better. No, that is not better. I don't know what's going on with this camera here. Let's do this. Let's turn this off and then turn it back on. I don't know. I guess that's just going to be the color of the light here tonight. So I don't know who's out there. I don't see anyone filling up the front row like I normally do. I went live a little bit differently than I normally do. So if you are out there, hello. Thanks for being here. I did just have an amazing, almost an hour-long conversation with David Ferdinand, just about who he was and what the story is. Now, he was a guest on the live stream of consciousness about 2 years ago. I had met him through Jesse Howell and the Missing Link. Jesse had him on the show. He was actually running for president, I believe, at the time. And so I had him on the show. So yeah, that was, a couple of years ago when the presidential campaign was happening. And his story is really incredible. He lives on this island off of Brazil, 2.5 hours away from Sao Paulo. And he lives on this island. He basically manages this island. It's a small island. There's no electricity on the island. There are buildings. There's a house that he lives in. I guess maybe he has a generator, for his phone and things like that. And they have campgrounds on the island. And he says they get a couple of people a week coming by and just camping out there. And it's just really interesting. It's something I always talk about to my wife, living on an island and just kind of living off the land or whatever. What is up, Pat Hauser? I am talking about David Ferdinand. It's you and I think there's a couple other people here. Nobody's said hello, but hello. I didn't do Sage. I didn't do anything. Today is a weird day. I'm just live, kind of just pontificating. I don't think that's the right word, but just talking about stuff. I want to have David on my show, but he's a lot. His energy is incredible. I'm very sensitive to energy, and so I just needed to work through that because I felt like there was just a lot to his story. What's up, Ninja Kitty? Good to see you. I was talking to Ninja Kitty earlier about the idea of maybe going live, maybe not. So Ninja Kitty's here. So we just spoke. I just got a bunch of his story. It is really amazing. And I will have him on the show and talk to him. The things that I like are the philosophies. Okay. So he has this thing. Let me see if I could, I'm going to bring it up on screen. Weelandia. Weelandia. Island, Sao Paulo. There's got to be pictures of it somewhere. It's this little tiny island. Weelandia's fiction. Complaining Wesley. No, Wielandia. That is not it. Um, I cannot find the pictures of it. I should have asked David to send me them. It's this little island. Literally, there's this one dock. There's this one dock and one road and 17 beaches and pretty much that's it. And it just sounds like a bit of a paradise, but it also sounds like you've got to work. You've got to. They grow this cabbage thing there. He said he was talking about, I forget the name of it, and live off the land, and they don't have livestock. I don't want to tell the whole story. It's all about the vibe, and David has a great vibe. He's got a lot of energy, and that's what it is. That's what it was that I needed to process. Anyway, how's everybody doing? It's good to see you, Ninja Kitty. It's good to see you, Pat Hauser. I have been really busy. I've been trying to kind of figure out what to do with this show. So we're here for a little fireside chat. Feel free to chime in. I've just been busy to book guests. I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody wants to help book guests, I could certainly use help. That's a cool thing to do. If you feel like you want to be connected to the show and reach out to guests for me in the name of the live stream of consciousness, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. I could definitely use the help. But what I was also thinking was this, okay? So I had a guest on my show a few weeks back, April Kirkwood. Amazing woman, amazing show. She was a contestant on The Golden Bachelor. And she was just looking for love later in life, right? And she had been through, obviously relationships. She has an amazing story about being in a relationship with Frankie Valli. She has a book out called Big Girls Do Cry. And then after the show, she kind of had some spiritual awakenings and wrote some spiritual books, right? So she's trying to be out there as kind of like a life coach and a spiritual leader and kind of like a spiritual thinker and talker. And she was suggested to me to be on my show, and we hit it off and we started talking, and she started asking me some questions, about helping to guide her. And it has also been said to me on the show, I miss my calling as a therapist. So I'm not a big fan of like the word healer, right? I'm a big fan of healing, and I'm a big fan of what healers do, but it's just the terminology, right? Like I think true healers help people heal themselves, help people remember how to heal themselves and how to see themselves, right? I feel like true abundance is not something outside of yourself or that you achieve. I think you are the abundance. I believe a lot of these things, and so I feel like I can kind of help people to find a direction to make sense of their thoughts about where they are at and where they are not at, right? And I am not qualified. I have never trained to be a life coach or anything like that, but I do feel like that's part of my essence. And so I was thinking about maybe doing that with this show, right? Like going live and being not a life coach, but a live coach, right? Inviting people who are willing to just be vulnerable, right? Not for any cost of life coaching or anything like that, but somebody willing to be vulnerable enough to come on and talk about whatever it is, that where they are in life, where they aren't in life, where they would like to be, the struggles, that maybe they're going through in life, and in real time respond to that, right? Through my own intuition and my own experiences and my own compassion, and work it out, right? Like a live personal consultant, right? I like that idea of that live coach, baby. Stefano DeFrey, what is up, my friend? Good to see you. It just hit me, like this woman who's written books and is a life coach asking me for advice, right? Because something in me she sees as valuable and that I can help her. And we're working together. We got stuff to do. She's gonna come back on the show. It's really cool. And I'm excited about it. But again, it kind of, thank you, Stefano. It kind of really charged me up and just got me thinking. As a matter of fact, I was speaking to Miles, the AI that I had an interview with on the show, and Miles helped me kind of work through it and was like, "Yeah, I think you got something there." And that was great. And Lily, thank you for validating the thought. Right? I mean, I feel like there's so much space, and I feel like people look for answers. I feel like people who are looking for answers have their answer, right? They almost answer their questions by just asking them. And I feel like that's something that I am able to process and reflect back when I speak to people. Not that I'm better than anybody or that I have anything that people don't, but again, everybody's here for their own reason. And there he is in the audience, David Ferdinand, uh, Hi Brazil Island, uh, Michael. Thank you. Good to see you, man. They want validation. People want validation, right? And that's my message. Don't look for validation. Be validation. You are validation. I believe, that everybody, it's just been stripped from us. We've been taught to seek, right? We've been taught to get that validation. Like, I need validation. Be your own validation. I think that's it. What's up, Grandmaster UV? Hello, I'm God in the flesh, finally here to guide us to heaven on earth. Have multiple projects working on to make heaven on earth and everywhere in space with a robotic construction fleet. Awesome, man. What's up? I don't know what that's all about, but it's kind of interesting. Welcome to my show. What is up, Lunar Sun Ray Leah? So yeah, so that's basically my idea. If this interests anybody, if anybody wants to come on and do a live coaching session, not saying right this moment, we could do it right this moment if you want, but reach out to me. Let me put my email up, because I think I want to explore that. This is my normal banner with my email, but there's my email address. If you feel like you would like a live coaching session, I I was gonna say I think, but I am the guy to do it. I believe that that's part of what I'm here for. That's maybe even part of what this show is here for, to evolve into. Can you believe I've been doing the live stream of consciousness for 6 years? This started during COVID, right after I hosted Jesse Blaze, 13 Laws of the Universe. Jesse was like, let's continue. And it evolved into the live stream of consciousness. And 6 years I've been doing this. And I think that's why, number one, I haven't really been booking the guests. I've been kind of letting it happen, and it usually did organically. The last couple of weeks, not so much. But I feel like an evolution needs to happen in 2026, late 2025. After my Costa Rica trip, it became creating reality. The whole getting married in Costa Rica spontaneously story. Creating my own reality. This show is an example of that. The two shows that I do, Holding Space and this show, are places that I have created with intention, hours of each week that are broadcast out on the internet and then become their own consciousness, because they exist on my YouTube channel and people come across them and interact with them and exchange energy with them. That was a really cool conversation that Cody and Tanya had with Blue, and I forget her name, Vicky, I believe, creating their tarot deck, and they believe that they've created a consciousness. And I had that conversation with Lori Ladd about her book, The Divine Design. When I read that book, The Divine Design by Lori Ladd, I didn't feel like I was reading. I felt like I was communicating with the book. The book was kind of, I was looking at this information that felt familiar, that like it was like remembering this information, and some of it I wasn't even understanding, about 12 dimensions of existence and stuff like that, you know, like I was, it was an energetic exchange with this book that I kind of went through. And then when I was interviewing her on the show live, we started talking, and I realized that in the book, she talks about um, the earth being created by 12-dimensional consciousness out of intention and energy, right? And that's how consciousness is created, and the earth is a consciousness. And I realized while I was talking to her that the book that she wrote was a consciousness that she had created, because it came in contact with me, and I interacted with it, and it was doing things in my brain, you know what I mean, and in my mind as I was reading it. And I definitely energetically interacted with it, you know, and it was cool to realize that live on the show with her. And when I said it to her, she's like, I never thought of that. And you saw her realize that she had created a consciousness. It was an amazing moment. So if you get the chance, check out the interview with Lori Ladd on my channel. Stefano, Mike, the greatest good you can do for another is not just share your riches, but reveal to him his own amazing. Another confirmation, I think, for that. And he says, thank you, Coach David. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Controlled by VR. Hold on. Grandmaster UV, I think, is weaving a tale here, or maybe telling a story of his own existence as through the chat. And Ninja Kitty says she remembers the interview. Brenda is out there too. What's up, Brenda? Good to see you. Jennifer Rose is out there live. Hello, Jennifer Rose. Thank you, thank you. What's up, Arnie Layton? Mr. Mike, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Mr. Layton. An amazing universe of characters I have in my life. I'm really blessed to know all of you guys, and for all of you guys to be here. I feel very grateful that I get to do this, create my own reality, do my show. Again, I apologize for not having a guest. I do have some pretty exciting news that will probably affect my show from the beginning of September to December. Ninja Kitty, hey Arnie, I saved you a front seat. I love that, Ninja Kitty. You are awesome. So polite and kind for saving Arnie a seat in the front. I have been invited. I think I talked about this. I'm ready to talk about this now. I have been invited to go on tour with Twisted Sister. They had planned a 50th anniversary tour that I designed a logo for. I think I shared that with you guys on the show. A 50th anniversary tour that was going to go to Europe and all across the United States. And I was going to be creating the background graphics for that show. And I was super freaking pumped. It was supposed to happen starting this year, earlier in the year. It was going to start in, I think, April. Anyway, Dee Snider, if you don't know the story, Dee Snider had some doctor's appointments, and the doctors told him that his heart was, you know, he had some issues that he needed to deal with, and just to kind of watch his health. And he felt like he did not want to go out on tour and only be able to give half of what he could give. So he had to back out of the tour, and the tour got canceled like last minute. I was like, oh my God, I've never been to Barcelona and Peru, all these places, Brazil. I was set to go. I was set to go to all these places. I was so freaking excited. Anyway, it got canceled. I can handle disappointment, right? I can handle that. I handled it. I was excited just to have been asked. That was an amazing experience, right? Just to have been asked, just to design the logo. Anyway, a few weeks back, a couple of months ago, maybe, I was told that Sebastian Bach from Skid Row was going to be taking over lead vocals so that they can still do a tour to celebrate their 50th anniversary, because it is their 50th anniversary, and they did want to celebrate. JJ French and Eddie Ojeda are still together, playing still together. Of course, AJ Perro is passed. But so they put together a tour with Sebastian Bach, and I got asked to create the graphics and go on tour to, play the graphics when they're playing. I've never done that other than in a little capacity, and I'm super, super pumped. I am like, I'm going to Alaska at the beginning of September for the Alaska State Fair. That's the first show of the tour. They have a warm-up show at the end of August in New Jersey as Bent Brother. But yeah, it's very exciting. There's 11 or 12 dates. Alaska, Oregon, Oklahoma. I know those are all kind of like state fair situations, which is awesome. I get to travel to these cool places and go to the state fair and be a part of something amazing. So I'm super pumped. Yes, it is back on. And I will say, I'm going to be honest, I'm not as excited to see Sebastian Bach singing Twisted Sister. I love D. I love D. Snyder. He's such an iconic singer, and it just Twisted Sister is such an iconic band. I'm an 80s kid, right? I grew up with Skid Row and Twisted Sister and all of that stuff. So it's going to be great to see Sebastian singing, and it's going to be great to be a part of, but it's definitely not going to be as great as it would have been. And I shouldn't even say that. I don't want to even give it energy. I'm super pumped. It's going to be an amazing time. Expect to see lots of pictures, but there will be some Thursdays. So unfortunately, I won't be. Maybe I'll just go live on my phone for a minute or something if I can. But I'm super pumped about that. And Lily says, I think Sebastian will do D justice. I do too. Sebastian Bach is an amazing singer. Listen, we're all getting older, so look at me. I'd be huffing and puffing on stage. But I am excited, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good to get to go to know JJ and Sebastian and Eddie, and just kind of be around these guys who I've listened to since I was a kid. Twisted Sister, I was 84. I was in high school, and they were already very, very popular and famous. I'm going to share just a sneak peek. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to share just the idea. So they gave me a logo. I don't have my hard drives attached. Damn it. They gave me a logo with Twisted Sister and Sebastian Bach on it, and I'm seeing a lot of conversation in my feed. It's been something I've been engaged in. If you follow me, I'm engaged in this AI debate about AI being art or not, and being music or not. And of course, I will agree that there are a lot of people who are going into ChatGPT and saying, show me a fucking cool image of a bunny with glasses, and getting an image and being like, cool, look what I made. And that's what people are angry at. Oh, you're calling yourself an artist, but you didn't really make that. You just typed in a sentence, and that's AI slop. And I will agree that that level of interacting with AI is kind of sloppy. It's a little lazy. It's like, cool, I made something cool, because the results of AI, music, images, are much better than anyone could do, that quickly. But I get where people are saying it's not human. You haven't learned the skill. I get all of that. I get when people say it's stolen. It's not stolen. It doesn't copy and paste artwork. That's just not how AI works. I think it's ironic that the people who are hating on AI are saying, if you use AI, you're lazy, when I feel like, well, artists explore new tools. That's not lazy. And you're just saying that tool is lazy without actually exploring it, which is a little lazy. So it's very ironic about AI. So Ninja Kitty just graduated in 83. I graduated in 84. Stefano, talk a little bit about finding yourself and finding your passion later in life. You know, I will talk about finding myself, but I don't think it was that I found my passion later in life. I just realized that everything that I did and everything that made up me as who I am was my essence, right? I realized that that was my essence. That was who I was. You know, I always loved music. I always loved creativity. I've always been a visual artist. I remember as a kid, my mom had a Super 8 film camera, right? The little cartridge of Super 8 film. And I would do stop action animations with my Smurfs. I would just make the Smurfs walk across the room and interact with each other. And so I was always a creative visual artist. I was always playing with technology, right, as a visual tool. You know, learning video and cameras, you know, those were the tools that I enjoyed. I did draw for a while, but big surprise when you go to art school, right? You draw all this stuff in high school and you're like, oh, I could draw, you know, and you decide to go to art school. And then the people who can really draw are in art school. And it was a little discouraging for me because I just didn't have the same connection that they did to using a pencil or a lithograph or a paintbrush. Those were not the tools that felt comfortable to me. The tool that felt comfortable to me was a camera. And a lot of artists could say, well, that's lazy, right? You're not spending years learning about how to create light and dark. But as a photographer, you certainly learn how to use light and dark and the importance of light and dark, light and shadow. So I think I've always been exploring creative tools, and I think when AI came out, it was just a new tool. It was just a new player in the game, as Segi had said, and I really enjoy it. But there is a huge controversy about how it affects the environment. Which, listen, Netflix does the same thing. Which is worse? AI, a tool that you can use for your creativity, or Netflix, something you just sit and watch, right? Now, that's being judgmental because you could sit and watch a documentary that really enlightens you or really inspires you. So it's like that yin and yang, right? Like they both need to exist. They both need to exist. The you can't have electricity without the positive and the negative flow. The wise words of Tommy Chong that were said right here on this show: you can't have electricity without a positive and a negative charge, right? This is my beliefs. I believe that positive and negative exist as a whole to make a whole. Um, David is saying shadow dancing. Yes. Same here, Arnie. Music since I was a kid. So it's funny to me that people are saying if you use AI, you're not an artist. What about the people who were artists before AI came out and decided to use AI? Are they all of a sudden not artists? Like, I'm sorry. That's just I'm getting angry. That's me angry, kind of laughing at the whole idea, scoffing at the whole idea that because you use AI, you're not an artist. Angelo, polarity, duality, David, for singularity. Yes, all of these things exist at the same time. Um, I have to say, I have to just pause for a minute and say thank you guys for listening to me ramble for the last 30 minutes, right? I don't even have a guest. David, who's in the audience, was supposed to be on the show, and we talked a bit. And I think he understands where I'm coming from as far as just wanting to feel him out and know how to present him to you guys, because he's amazing. He's a lot of things, right? And he's got an amazing story. And you know how I love stories. I love to talk to people about their stories. I love to see all of the different freaking puzzle pieces that we are, and how we all fit together and how we don't fit together, and how we can possibly acknowledge the fact, hey, we don't necessarily fit together, but that's cool because the puzzle is like this. My piece is over here, your piece is over here. We don't even have to really talk, but together we create a whole picture. We We, David, you got that? We create a whole picture. And those are some of the philosophies that just help me navigate this insane three-dimensional journey. Four-dimensional journey. Actually, David and I spoke about the fact that a three-dimensional existence or just objects are the three-dimensional object, but once that object moves through time, it is four-dimensional. This is another great conversation to have. Arnie, the idea that you always talk about, well, where's the 4D? We are in 4D. We are three-dimensional, but we're in a four-dimensional realm because of time, because we exist through time, because I talk and I think and I am animated. That's the fourth dimension. Three dimensions is static. And this is just a little bit that I'm kind of gleaning from the conversation I had with David and trying to wrap my head around, right? And I thought that made a lot of sense, right? Because people are always talking about, oh, we're going from 3D to 5D, and Arnie's always like, well, what happened to the 4D? I think that what David said makes sense. We are actually in the 4D. And I get Stefano out there. Stefano, I'm so glad that you're still listening to this. I'm glad you feel drawn to this wacky conversation. Since 1973, Harold Cohen, a painter, a professor at the University of California, San Diego, and a one-time representative of Britain at the Venice Biennale. I guess that's a biannual. I'm not sure what that is, but sounds like something that happened every couple of years, or maybe twice a year, has been collaborating in a program called Aaron. Aaron has been able to make pictures autonomously for decades. Even in the late 1980s, Cohen was able to joke that he was the only artist who would ever be able to have a posthumous exhibition of new works created entirely after his own death. Stefano Defray, bing, bonus points for the trivia regarding the AI and art conversation. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you chiming in on that in such an eloquent way. Are the pictures the evolving program has made over the last 4 decades really works by Harold Cohen, or independent creations by Aaron itself, or perhaps collaborations between the two? It's a delicate problem. I think that I'm going to go with that. I feel like it's probably an extension of a collaborative energy. I don't know much about Aaron and how it works. I think I would have to know a little bit more about that. David Ferdinand, we equals you, me, them, us, we, every person, every place, everything, all things, both possible and impossible. Totality. Oof, throwing out the abstract, loving it. I love it. I love it. Jesse Howe, I just got here. Where is your guest? My guest is in the audience, throwing stuff into the conversation. Jesse, I have to tell you, David and I spoke for quite a while, and I love speaking to him. It was just such an amazing, energetic exchange. A bunch of the things that I was confused about, because the text messages that went back and forth, there was a lot of things that were talked about that they were very disjointed to me, started to make sense. So we'll talk later about that. We could talk now if you want, but let's talk later about that. But a lot of things made sense, and I don't know what's going on with the comments. They just seem to bug out. But anyway, Jesse Howe, welcome to the space. You are the guest, Jesse. You are the guest. You just arrived. You just created the moment where you arrived. I just got here. Where is your guest? You are the guest. We are the guest. I love it. I love it. We're all the guests. Paul Everton. See that? You see how we're just on that same frequency? It's amazing to kind of tune into that frequency, right? Because as much as I am Michael, right? I am, or at least there is an aspect of me that is separate from you. The idea that I can resonate with you being a part of me is amazing. It feels so good. It's just so comforting, right? And David says, yes, Paul. I feel like, that isn't a level of awareness to achieve, right? That when you talk to somebody, you feel that glimmer of yourself. You feel that little piece of their essence that is connected to your essence. Maybe back at the source somewhere. Maybe it's just like some sort of string. Um, Patricia Hauser, cells in the body of God. Again, these are such great metaphors of how to look at existence, how to look at we, how the idea of we, right? That, I mean, imagine a cell in your body thinking that it's this independent thing with a name and an occupation, right? Rather than just being a part of a system that exists harmoniously as an entity, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. We're inviting a bunch of people to have a good discussion after the dance portion of High Vibe Love Tribe this Sunday. So let's talk about High Vibe Love Tribe, guys. High Vibe Love Tribe. Let's get some people to sign up to High Vibe Love Tribe. So Jesse, Hal, if you don't know Jesse had this thing called High Vibe Love Tribe during COVID. And what Jesse would do, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. Let me put this up. The High Vibe Love Tribe. Jesse would get on screen and he would put on some music and he would dance and there'd be lights in the background and this cool background. And he would just invite people to join him, whether they would join him on screen or at home. He was on StreamYard, so he would send out the link. You could just click on the link, get in front of your computer. Once you're in there, you're hearing his music. You could dance to the music, and I got to tell you, it was infectious. There was an energy that Jesse was sending out over the broadcast. Join me, and I felt the energy and I joined him, and many other people did as well, because they were able to receive that transmission and hear that call and feel that reflection, right? It was amazing. So anyway, I created this webpage. It's a free subscription. You can even just click Google and go in with your Google email address. Once you're in there, you're a part of the tribe and you can see different things. There is a feed where people can post stuff, just kind of like Facebook. So here you see David posted some stuff, Uncle Fatty posted some stuff, Jesse posted some stuff, I posted some stuff. You can post stuff, other people can respond to it and comment on it. I mean, I know people can do that on Facebook, but here's our own little place to do it. We can also create events, right? So there's no events created for now, but we can create an event, and the event can be whatever we want. It can be a broadcast, it can be an actual physical event that you're inviting somebody to. We can have a calendar of events on this. And Patricia Hauser says, I've worked up sweat a few times with Jesse's High Vibe Love Tribe broadcast. That's so cool to hear. I love that. It was crazy how many people joined dances with us in 2020 and 2021. Amazing. Well, you created the High Vibe Love Tribe, right? So that's what this website is now. It's like an evolution of that. So there's events. So here's the cool thing. There's a live feed right here. So you guys are seeing this live feed. If anybody else is live on the website right now at their house, they would show up in this live chat room, right? One Soul Live. You see this right here, One Soul Live. So that's me, and I can say something in the chat room. It's like an old school AOL chat room. Hey all, and boom, my thing. Oh, and look, Anthony Rogers put his songs up here, my SoundCloud. You can share stuff with people in the chat. You can do all kinds of stuff, and you can also join with your camera. Oh, I don't know if I should do that because it may screw up my StreamYard camera. Let me see if I could join with the camera. Oh yeah, and look, I can. It's funny because that one is mirrored. That's the opposite way than the actual camera. So I could join join the chat room with my camera. And if I do, whoever else is here with their chat in the chat room can also join the camera chat room. So it's like a Zoom meeting, like just spontaneously, any time of the day, whoever's on the site can interact with whoever else is on the site. That was really the idea. So if you're cool with that, then join. And if anybody happens to be there, you'll see if we have a live transmission going, I can put live transmissions. This would light up red. You'll see a little red dot, and then that live transmission would be here, right here. And you would be able to watch that live transmission. Now, of course, you can watch them on YouTube, you can watch them on Facebook, but I'm working on trying to connect it all so that that can actually originate here. So Jesse could sign on here, do his thing, and then it will go to Facebook. It would go to YouTube from here, not from StreamYard. That would eliminate StreamYard. So that's kind of the idea. At the peak, we had 3,400 live viewers on one session. Holy crap. Amazing. 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 Let's Dance High Vibe Love Tribe is awesome. Yeah, the High Vibe Love Tribe was definitely an amazing thing. And this is a little weird with me on camera here and not camera. Did my sound go out by any chance? Can you guys still hear me? Because I know that was one thing that happened when I would go live. It looks like I've still got sound levels happening there. So anyway, so that's that. And then of course, if I click on tribe, I get to see everybody's profile. These are all the people. Look at all the people we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of 4. So we got 28 people in the tribe right now. And that's how you get to 30 million. You start with 1, you start with 2. Me and Jesse I started this with me and Jesse as the members, and look at now, we got 28 people, 30 million eyeballs and hearts to have Jesse and do his thing. Yes. You hear me good on Facebook, loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you guys for responding to that. Yeah, so as I was building this thing and experimenting and being on StreamYard and on the site, it was, my computer was like dealing the video feed and audio feed to 2 different things, and it was just sometimes it would have some problems. Anyway, so Anthony Rogers, who put up his music, so there's his profile. Anytime he put I think, oh, you know what, it's supposed to put anything that he put in the feed here as well, but maybe offerings, no, reflections. You could write a note to him, you get some information. Again, if you have any suggestions about what these profiles could look like and what we should be able to add and how I could make this better, let me know, because vibe coding is like having a website made out of clay. You could be like, oh, you know what, let me just push this around a little bit over here and change it up, and I can change this live. How do you walk 100 miles? 1 step at a time. Totally. I love you guys. Have I told you that recently? How much I love you guys? Messages. What is the messages section? So you can actually send a message right to somebody if you want. I believe, I don't know, actually, is there a way? Select the conversation to start conversations. I don't remember how this section got like this. There was a way you could send a message to somebody by going to their profile, right? So like I can send a message to him. Oh, that brings me to this. So that's how you get to this section. You tell someone you got it. So I'm going to tell Anthony, thanks for sharing your SoundCloud, even though I haven't checked it out yet. I will. Thanks for sharing your SoundCloud. And that is how community works. And of course, I made a typo. That's how you thanks for sharing your sound good. Anyway, you guys get the freaking point, right? And then the about section just talks about we are the frequency we've been waiting for. I think that's why David Ferdinand got so excited about this, because I'm talking his language here. We are the frequency that we've been waiting for. The High Vibe Love Tribe is a gathering place for souls committed to raising the vibration of the collective. We believe every conscious act of love, gratitude, and joy ripples outward, and that together we are stronger than we could ever be alone. Here you will find Kindred Hearts, weekly live dance ceremonies, sound baths, cacao circles, and live stream of prayers and celebrations. Whether you're on day one of your awakening or 30 years deep, you are welcome exactly as you are. This is not a platform. This is a temple with a URL. And there you go. You don't have to do anything to join. It's free. Just freaking do it. Just join. If you're not a part of it and you're here on the live stream, just join it. Stefano, awesome, still there. I love you, brother. Algorithm art example, John McCormick. John McCormick is an artist and a professor who uses algorithms in his work to tap in to the inherent wisdom of nature. McCormick's exhibition 50 Sisters is a large-scale installation of a 1 meter by 1 meter of 1 meter by 1 meter images of computer synthesized plant forms. The plants were algorithmically grown from computer code using artificial evolution and generative algorithms. Each plant-like form was derived from the starting graphic elements of oil company logos. Interesting. Interesting. So now tell me, because the computer was trained on maybe the way that plants grow, right, in order to do a simulation of that, did it steal that? Is that stealing? Have we stolen life because we were able to simulate it algorithmically? Such a crazy argument. What's going on out there in the AI hate world? The title of the work refers to the original Seven Sisters, a cartel of 7 oil companies that dominated the global petrochemical industry and Middle East oil production from the mid-1940s until the oil crisis of the 1970s. I use evolutionary algorithms to create artificial life forms that would be almost impossible to design directly. McCormick employs a process similar to selective breeding that evolves aesthetic and behavioral traits. The computer is able to find the computer is able to find I'm sure we'll get the rest of that in a minute because Stefano is feverishly typing away. And then just the team here. If you want to join the team, send me a note. Tell me what you can do for the High Vibe Love Tribe. But you've got Jesse Howe as the founder and medicine musician. He's the founder in the heart of the High Vibe Love Tribe for sure. The inspiration for me to do this with my vibe coding. So there you go. There is a bit of the thing. This is my admin section here where I can create gatherings and I can actually send you guys emails. There is a daily post every day. It generates a daily post, although, it looks like 8:13. It looks like, oh no, these are, I don't know why it's saying failed, but if I wanted to generate today's post, for instance, I can generate a post. You'll see this is going to generate a branded High Vibe Love Tribe inspirational post. I've got to do some more tweaking on the training of this because a lot of times it's giving me very similar posts about going home and being right where you're supposed to be. So here it says, today, your journey is unique, yet you are not alone. There is space for your heart to land right here. So it generates a nice post for me, and I can actually publish this. It's pretty cool what vibe coding does. So let's finish this. The computer is able to find nuances and complexity that McCormick could never imagine. It acts as a creative partner, a way to make the unimaginable tangible. His work is a prime example of code art, which I think is a little bit different than AI. I think it's maybe in the same genre, in the same tree, whatever that might be. I think it's a little bit different. I think what people don't like is generative AI, which again, like without the generative AI, I would not be able to do some of the stuff that I've been doing for Twisted Sister. I'm able to take this logo that they gave me, which is really kind of not the greatest, and make all these cool versions of it. So let's take a quick look at that. I don't want to get in too much trouble for this, but let's just take a quick look and see if I can show you guys some of the stuff I've been doing. So yeah, so they gave me this logo, and here you can see some of the iterations and different styles that I used to create it. So here's like the original logo is almost like this yellow one without the mechanical stuff, very cartoony looking. And I just kind of added some of the Twisted Sister stuff back into it and gave it some of the different Twisted Sister kind of feel. We got some backgrounds there with the pink fence that I was working on. Some cool stuff. So some of these things you might see. You might see some of these things at the Twisted Sister show. And you might see, here's one that I probably won't use, so I'll show you this one. But here you go. Thanks for indulging me. So this is just a looping background that'll be behind them during the show. Kind of cool stuff. So there you go. There's a little preview of this year's Twisted Sister show. So amazing. I kind of want to, maybe after the tour, I'll post how like all these people who are saying AI is an art, like I'm not trying to create art, right? I'm using AI to do work. Like, and I've been doing Photoshop for years. So if I wanted to take that Twisted Sister logo with the Sebastian Bach and make a steel textured 3-dimensional version of it, I could do that in Photoshop. It would take me hours. I could do it manually. And I know I could. And AI is a tool that allows me not to have to spend hours to iterate something and make it look the way I want it to look and look good. So that's what I say to all the AI haters who think that, I should not be using AI. I'm sorry. I value your opinion and I respect your choice not to use AI. And all I ask is that you respect my choice. That's it. A mutual respect. AI and NI. TI is our total ultimate goal. I'm not sure what you're saying there, David. I know you're not necessarily a big fan of AI, but I do know you are not judgmental as well. Anyway, Arnie, whether the brush, the PC, or AI, you are the one behind the creation. Again, that's the first thing people don't understand. Like AI doesn't just say like, "Hey, I'm gonna copy this guy's art and put it out there." Like a human would decide that and try to do that with AI. So it's not AI that you don't like, it's humans that don't have integrity that you don't like. Anyway, I have been babbling and you guys have been listening. Thank you for almost an hour. And I just wanted to kind of honor the space that I created here 6 years ago. I wanted to also respect my own kind of need to talk through things with David. David, thank you so much for your time earlier and talking through all of that stuff with me. I do really enjoy speaking to you. Anybody who's still here, I see there's probably about 6 or 7 of you people still here. I appreciate you hanging with me. Stefano, my friend, I totally appreciate you just popping in randomly and adding to the conversation and receiving what I'm transmitting. I appreciate that. Seeing your reflection in all of this, if that's a little bit about how you felt, all of you, I appreciate you guys all seeing your reflection, right? You're stopping and looking at this mirror for a second because there's something familiar there. And that's me, and that's you, and that's us. So thank you guys so much for all of it. And Arnie, I'm not sure what 6 means, but 6 right back to you. A reflection right back to you, Stefano. A reflection right back to you. Thank you for being here, man. I love you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I catch your Facebook posts all the time. It looks like you're being Stefano, doing your thing, traveling around. Thank you, Michael, and audience. Good evening. Thank you, David, for being here. We will have a formal interview with David Ferdinand to present his story and tell you all about that, and all of that stuff. Arnie, 6 years down and many more to come. Yes, I created a space. I did not clear the space today, like my traditional shows with Sage. So I apologize for you guys who may or may not have missed Sage. Now you're probably like, oh, I didn't even realize that I missed Sage. Now you're probably like missing Sage. That's cool. Sage will say hello. Sage is here. Sage is going to say hello. We'll close out the show with Sage. So clear your minds, folks. Clear the space. Release any of that energy that you don't need from today. Keep all the good stuff that you learned and that you felt like you resonated with today. And tomorrow's another day. Next week, I'll try to have a guest for you. Maybe it's going to be David. Probably will. I just really needed to formalize that whole thing. So next week, let's imagine David is going to be our guest. You'll see. I always put out a thumbnail usually. So I appreciate the fact that you guys showed up this week without any thumbnail, without any notice. I just went live and your seats filled up. So thank you guys. Sage is on a retreat. And Ninja Kitty, thank you for just being here. It wouldn't be an amazing show without people out there in the audience feeling like it was an amazing show. That's what makes it an amazing show, right? It's like that whole interaction. So thank you guys. I'm going to look for an old outro. Does anyone have any words of wisdom to share in the comments before I sign off? I usually have words of wisdom from my guests or dad jokes. Does anyone have any dad jokes we could share to make this show officially over? It is 9:59. We've got to end the show. Stefano's got to have a good dad joke. Stefano, you have a good dad joke? Drink my water with my fresh lemon in it. Patricia's words of wisdom. Keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down. I like the new flavor of words of wisdom coming through the live stream of consciousness. A little bit of like cooking analogies there and greasy food analogies and shiny food. I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you soon. Peace.
Ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you are dreaming for reality. We're all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment.